So let's talk about these other ATT projects. Last time we talked about the first couple. Now the rest of them, 3, 4, 5, and 6, are all the same. You go to one of these and, for example, groups, and then you've got a reference here, the attack groups. And by the way, you might want to make sure you're using version 9, although I don't know if the groups have changed in the different versions. Let's try that. If I go to version 9, yes, and then I go to groups. All right, I'm seeing, so I would use this, which may not be what you get in the link here. This might take you to current groups. Perhaps they're different. So now you can ask questions. Which one of these is an Indian group? And so you just query for them and look them up and figure it out. If you don't know, Nikon perhaps. Ought to be a search engine. Yeah, there is. Something seems to be freezing up on me. Oh, okay. Froze up on me and confused my typing. All right. There, Nikon. South China Sea has been attributed to China, so that's not it. So you have to try until you find it, the usual thing. All right. So that's the same thing we've done. The one that's worth demonstrating, because it's different, is the Navigator. Let me just check for comments. Okay, nothing new. Okay, good. Now, all right, the Navigator is a cool tool which lets you compare two groups or two attacks and see what they have in common. So I wrote a walkthrough for it here, and here's the actual tool. So I'm going to follow my walkthrough and go through it. So what this does, it's just like an Excel spreadsheet. So you create a new layer. Let me just check my rules. Okay, create a new layer and choose attack version 9. So I create a new layer, and I want the enterprise. Whoa, I think I didn't get to choose the version, and that's important for this project. So let me try again. I open the Navigator. I create a new layer. More options. There we are. Now I can choose a version. And the version is going to be 9, which, as you can see, is several versions back. I haven't updated this in a while, and the domain is enterprise. So do that, or you won't find the flags. And then I'm ready to create my new layer, create layer from version. There we are. And it creates a spreadsheet listing all the techniques and tactics. And now you can filter them by various controls. And there's a whole bunch of buttons here, of which I only have ever used 2 buttons. I don't know what the rest of them are for. You don't need them. So you create the layer. Now, these are the 2 buttons, second from the left and second from the right, unless they've changed things. Well, I guess there's a few others there. But the point is, this one here is search and multi-select. And this one here is the scoring button. Those are the only 2 things we need. So I'm going to search for, say, APT41. So I search, and I see everything I can search for down here. So I can search for techniques or threat groups or software mitigation and so on. It's a threat group, APT41. The APTs are at the start. They were the earliest ones. So I select that. Okay. And now that's done. I'll just click this again to make it go away. Notice some of these things are now circled by blue. Those are the tactics used by that group. And I can give them a better color by going to scoring, which is this one. The only 2 buttons I ever use. So I'll give that a score of 1. And that makes it turn red. Click score again to make it go away. So now I've highlighted all the techniques used by that group. And I'll rename this layer, APT, one click, put the new name here, APT41. All right. Oops, 41. All right. Now I would like to compare that to, say, APT9. So I make a new tab. I create a new layer the same way, version 9 enterprise. And now I want to make this based on APT9. So I go to threat groups down here, and I choose APT9. Let me make sure I'm following my example. APT41, and compare it to APT29. Okay, let's compare it to APT29 then, which is here, 29, select. and click this search button again to make that go away. This is APT29, so I'm going to change the title to APT29 so I know what I'm doing. And now I want this to have a score of 2. Okay, so it highlights them. And now I can compare the two groups to see what they might have in common by making a new layer from other layers. And so this is A and this is B, so the expression is A plus B. If I want to compare the two layers, it's not letting me do that for some reason. Do I have to select a domain and version? Oh, okay. I want Enterprise Attack 9. All right. Now I can do A plus B. There we go. And none of the rest of this stuff matters. I can now create the layer. And so now you see everything nicely colored. So this has a score of 3, so the green are the things that both of them have. The red is a score of 1, so that's the things APT41 only has. And the yellow is a score of 2, so that's the stuff only APT2 has. So this is a nice way to compare two pieces of malware, two groups, two defenses, two of anything. So now you'll be able to answer questions you have here. So what command and control technique was used by both APT3 and APT29? So with that tool, you could pretty easily track it down, and on you go. So again, you have to get, I think, 5 of these in a row right, and then you'll get a flag. So that's all I wanted to show you. Let me check for comments. Layers are way easier. I've been using Command F. Yeah, your Navigator's handy. Yep, all right, I'm going to stop the recording.